All right. Well, again, I welcome everybody to our webinar for the Masters in Business Analytics Flex program here at UT Dallas. We are one of the oldest programs when it comes to business analytics here in the country, but we are definitely the largest business analytics program with a little over 1,000 students. And again, how exactly that plays to our advantage is something that we'll be sharing with you in the next couple of minutes. The agenda is going to be very simple. I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about the program, and then we'll just open it up to your questions. The way we would like to take the questions is that if you have one, just put it in the chat and we'll go through the questions. There's no need to repeat your questions if you've already asked it once, because of course we will go through all the questions. Don't worry about that. But please use the chat for your questions. Now, just to get a sense of who we have here today, why don't you use the chat for a moment and just tell us that which semester you are planning to start your program for, so that we just get a sense of who we have here in the audience today. Just put the semester, whether it is summer 22, fall 22, spring 23, or you're undecided. All right, so we do have a mixed bag. We do have a lot of fall students, but then a few summer. Okay, so the majority is for fall 22. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for letting us know. All right, so the business analytics program, even before we talk about why us, why business analytics, the question is why analytics at all? Why do companies care so much about analytics that, everywhere you go, they're talking about data analytics, business analytics, and then related things like data science, data engineering. There's a lot of talk around data. But why now? Why has it suddenly become so important? The simple answer is, it's not that data is new to us. Computer systems are built to manage data, and it's been at least 5 decades of us doing that. It was in the 70s that most of the organizations, irrespective of their size, decided whether they would like to go with something like a computer system for their business processes or not. And that's how computer applications and the use of computer systems came into existence. So we've been generating data for a long period of time. It was only, I would say, somewhere in the late 80s, early 90s that the question was, now what do we do with all this data that is generated? We simply cannot just throw it away. And that's where analytics started to show up its face. Now, again, it's not that statistics or analytical methods were new at that point of time, but just the fact that the industry was pivoting in terms of using data to make decisions was a significant change. Now, it did not happen overnight, and it was, of course, the big companies, the leaders who started with it. And over a period of time, everybody caught up to it. Why? Because no longer they wanted somebody's hunch to be the reasoning behind a decision. When you have data and when you can figure out what the patterns were, what your hits were, what your misses were, where you were successful, where you were not successful, and you can even extrapolate that to the future, why not use that information as opposed to somebody's experience? Now, I'm not saying that experience was thrown out, but again, it's a good mix that you have your hunch, your experience, plus something definitive like data. Now, the other big and more important thing about data is it's not really confined to an industry. There is no industry that says that, oh, we don't have data, or we don't deal with data. Every industry does. Every industry. So whether you're talking about tech, financial sectors, oil and natural gas, healthcare, real estate, you name it, and it's there. But what is not there is, and that's what is to your advantage who is seeking a business analytics degree, is that there's a dearth of qualified professionals. The operating word here is qualified. You can create a few charts, but that doesn't make you an analytics professional. You can use a visualization tool, but that's not analytics. analytics is much more beyond just creating these charts and all, because charts and all is data representation and really creating models that are run on your data sets, fine tuning those models based on how your business is going, trying to figure out that, okay, what is the right technique through which you can reach out to your customers, or maybe make decisions, whether it is a tactical decision or a strategic decision based on the data that is at hand. All that requires specialized knowledge. And that's where a business analytics degree comes into picture. For years and years, organizations tried to teach their employees stuff around analytics. Yes, they were trainings and stuff, but the need at which they the need of analytics was growing at a pace that they were not able to really just use those trainings. And that's where they turned around to academia to have these programs so that students in degree programs were learning about analytics. Now, as degree programs, we are not very old, because honestly, the first degree program around analytics in the US was in the year 2007. And then the next 5-7 years, there were all these top universities across the US that started analytics programs. And in 2014, UT Dallas came up with our program. We have been here for about 7 years. We are into our 8th year, and right now, the largest program in the country. But why us? The number one reason is flexibility. Now you're getting into a graduate program and you need to decide how that graduate program should look like for you. You should be having that ability to pick and choose the courses that you want to learn, pick and choose the tracks that you want to get in, pick and choose those learning methodologies so that at the end of the day, it helps you in your career, as opposed to we telling you, okay, here is all that you have to do. There's no flexibility. You cannot pick anything outside. And hopefully this will make you an analytics professional. See, everybody comes into the degree program for a different reason, and when I say a different reason, how they want to grow their skill set around analytics. And we want to give you that flexibility. So that's our number one thing. The pace also of the program. Now, this program can be done in 9 months. You take courses, load them up, stack them up, and you can do it in 9 months. The max time anybody can take is 72 months. Most of our students take 1.5 to 2 years to do this. I would say 3 to 4 long semesters, which is like 17 to 22 months. But that flexibility is available and you decide how you want it. Engagement is another major thing with us, because we feel that what we learn in the classroom is great, but it can only become better by real engagement. You rub shoulders with top executives every now and then. Honestly, there are so many events and so many opportunities to interact with these executives that you will get tired. You will feel it's too much and you're not able to keep up. But that's a good problem to have, right? So that, again, you can pick and choose. And finally, we are very based on outcomes, because we want to make sure whatever you're doing with us, we are able to measure it and see whether it helped you or not. If it didn't help, then we'll change our method and we will see by what means can we make it better, because eventually anything that we do, we want it to help you with your career. Now it's a 36 credit hour program, and all these 36 credit hours are split into, so on an average, a course is 3 credits, so 12 credits out there. 18 plus 18. 18 credits is core, and then you have 18 electives, and those 18 electives can be picked up from 10 different tracks. Accounting, cybersecurity, data science, data engineering, decision and operation, financial analytics, healthcare, marketing, social media, enterprise systems, you name it, it's there. We offer admission in all 3 semesters, fall, spring, and summer. Fall is in August, spring is in January, and summer is mid-May. It's a STEM designated program. So if your employer is looking for STEM degrees, there you go. And if you're an international student, you have that extended benefit of OPT because it's a STEM designated program. As I mentioned, we are the largest in the country, and we also have a really high average starting salary, irrespective of your experience. We're seeing $100,000 is what our students are hitting. At the same time, if you are experienced and you're getting into this program, we see much, much larger packages. In the last 3 years, we have seen our highest somewhere in the range of 250 to 300K. We have partnerships with dozens of companies, and these partnerships are not just we know you, you know us kind of partnerships. These partnerships are where we are regularly interacting with each other. We are working on fine tuning the curriculum. We are working on events. We are getting them into our classes as guest speakers. We are getting them as judges uh, uh, in the school. We're making sure that there is a constant connect with these employers. So guess what? When they look for full-time hires or they look for interns, we become their natural choice because we have that relationship built with them. UTD is known for its high return on investment. We are ranked number one in the state of Texas, but our program, the business analytics program, is right on the top. Now, most of the banking institutions will give you a loan for 7 to 12 years. Our students are paying it off in 2.5, 3 years. That's because they're able to make that kind of money that they're able to pay the entire loan off in a very short amount of time. Again, it depends on how you plan it and how you plan to pay it off. Some of our students do it in less than a year as well. And that's absolutely possible. Live a comfortable life, support your family, and still pay off your loan in a record time. Almost 500 to 600 internships are done every year. The averages are between $24 and $26. And that's just an average. We have highs of 50, 60, 70, I mean, even 100 plus dollars an hour as an intern. There are three different formats in this program. Flex is the one that is the largest program here with all the 10 tracks. It's a state funded program, which means if you get a scholarship or you become a TA, you get in-state tuition. We also have two other formats, cohort and online. Cohort has the data science and analytics, accounting analytics track. Now, those two tracks are also in the Flex program. Okay, but the core program is only based around those two tracks. There are scholarship opportunities as well. There are face-to-face online classes. Scholarship opportunities are available in Flex as well. And if you get a scholarship, the Dean's Excellence Scholarship is what we call it. It's for $1,000, but if you're an out-of-state student, your tuition changes and becomes in-state for 2 long semesters. And that is like 50% reduction on your tuition, literally, as an out-of-state student. So lots of benefits there. We also have a fully online program, has data science and data engineering related courses there. It's 100% online, self-paced again. Most of the people that we have in this program are working professionals, but if you want to do this full-time online, that's also possible. We have GRE GMAT waivers available, but it's on a case-to-case basis. You'll have to apply and then request for a waiver. Now, what do we need in the application? As I said, GRE and GMAT is required, but you can request a waiver by emailing jsomgradvising@utdallas.edu. If you're applying for a scholarship, we'll definitely need a GRE or GMAT from you. Or we need your transcripts. Unofficial ones will do. If you don't have a transcript and you're, let's say, in your final year of your undergrad program and you have mark sheets, send them to us. Resume is needed. We need 3 letters of recommendation, and at least one of them should be a professional recommendation. Now, this doesn't have to be your employer or your boss, but somebody from the industry who knows you is what we need. We need a personal objective statement. That's your essay, 1 page, double space should be okay. We don't give out any application fee waivers, but in case you have pursued a degree at UT Dallas before or you're a current student in another program, we can give you the application fee waiver. Scholarships, there is a separate application for the Flex program where you need to apply online. It'll need a scholarship essay, but definitely make sure that your official GRE or GMAT scores have been sent to the school and they are received by the school. For fall 22, it's due May 1. We don't offer scholarships for summer, but then we have, we are in the cycle right now. And we give these scholarships on a rolling basis. So every 2 to 3 weeks, the committee convenes and they look at your profile. If you qualify, you are given the scholarship and you send a letter. If you don't, then they don't reject you. They put your name back in the pool. And then when they come back after 2-3 weeks, they again look at it and they make a determination whether you have qualified or not. And they'll keep on doing this until about the first week of May. If you don't get it at that point of time, you'll get a rejection. TA-ships are not available in the first semester, but you can apply for a TA-ship from the second semester. I mean, you can be in your first semester and apply for the second semester. The reason why we say that is because we need a UTD GPA. And again, if you are assigning you as a TA for a course, we want you to take that course as well. Some internships number last year about 500 of them with about 360 employers. And if you can see, IT and software is just a quarter of the different industries in which our students went. So data analytics, business analytics students are needed everywhere, everywhere. Generally, our students work in all 50 states, but despite the fact that this is a COVID year, last year this was, we still had students pursue internships in all these different states. So again, our students go all over the place. Some numbers around the internships, the average is between 23 and 26, but if you look at last summer, 26 was the average and the high of $105 an hour. That's like $200,000 annually as an intern. We will give you a lot of information, but if you want some unfiltered information, please go and look for hashtag UTDMSBA on LinkedIn. And these are first-hand accounts of our students who are doing a lot of different things in the industry, in the school. Read about their internship experience, how they got those jobs. And if you are looking for a job in your dream company, you can see what our students are doing there. You might find somebody from the program who's already working there. But these are some very good reads. We have more than 350 student organizations at UT Dallas, 70 of them in the School of Management, and the ones that you're seeing on the screen are some of the ones that see students from the MSBA program as leaders. So SAP Users Group, Salesforce, Project Management, Women in Technology, Toastmasters, Cybersecurity, Accounting Analytics, Intelligent Analytics, Envision, Visualization, Big Data. I mean, you name it, the organization is there. Why we take a lot of pride in our organizations is because these are ways through which you can do things yourself and learn how to run an entity, how to be a part of a student-led entity. Because what you learn here, those lessons can be transferred to billion-dollar organizations as well. This is what I find as one of the bonuses that any student can get. We have these degree certificate programs, graduate certificate programs that are carved out of our degree programs. These are about 4 courses long. And what you do is once you take those courses, you get an average 3.0 GPA in those courses, you get a separate diploma from the university that you have completed a graduate certificate. Depending on your residency, it could be as high as $20,000 if you have to just come to UTD to go for these. And these are free for you because when you sit in a class, the credit applies to multiple places. So for example, the machine learning certificate requires one of the courses, statistics. And advanced statistics is something that every MSBA student takes. So by taking that course, you're getting credit towards the degree program as well as the certificate program. And you don't have to pay twice. So definitely, when you come to UT Dallas, I would strongly recommend look around for these certificates and see which ones you can fit in your program. Again, remember, you have the flexibility to choose. But here are our direct contact details. If you have any questions, you can directly email us. Our direct phone numbers are also there. I will just take another moment before I jump into questions and just show you our catalog here. I'm going to paste this link in the chat as well, but please feel free to put your questions in the chat also. Okay, so our core courses, 6 of them, you learn about advanced statistics. So if you go to any organization, they'll ask you 3 questions. What happened, what will happen, and what do you recommend? What happened is advanced statistics. What will happen? Predictive analytics. What do you recommend? Prescriptive. And we have a layer of econometrics because again, why would you not want to know how on a time series things went and the economics of what is going on, and then a database and a foundational class on business analytics. This is a very strong core that students have. And that's the reason why students are able to do their job very well in whichever organization they go for, because all of these courses gives you a very, very, very strong foundation. When we compare ourselves to other institutions, we don't find this kind of base foundation. And then on top of it, all these different tracks, there are 70 plus courses from which you have to pick 6. I mean, for each course, you have 10 different choices. And it's up to you. You want to take all the courses from one track? You want to take one course from 6 tracks? It's up to you how you want to do it. And that's where our large numbers make it possible for us to offer all these classes. Because if we were a small program of 30, 40 students, we can't do this. Then we'll have to go with the same courses for everybody. And that takes away any flexibility that you would like to have. So we do take pride in the fact that, we are big and we are able to offer all these courses. And of course, one thing that we always feel, there is no institution out there that we cannot compete with. No institution. Ivy League institutions, top institutions, Harvards, MITs, we can, because we have a very strong foundation when it comes to coursework. And then in terms of the student life, our students can go to 365 events if they want to in a year. Every day there will be something new to pursue. So I think with the curriculum and the experience and what you receive at the university, there's a lot to get out of our program and our school and UT Dallas. At this point, I'm going to jump into your questions because I know you have some wonderful questions out there. I personally like your questions. Okay, let's see, what do we have here? Okay, Nishant. So I've sent my GRE score to UTD for undecided department. It's in the ETS. Reached on 9th. How many days does it take? Well, Nishant, from the time you have reported it, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks. And that's inclusive of ETS sending it to us and we picking it up and updating it. But after 3 weeks also, if you don't see anything, 3 weeks should be the end of February. Send me an email and I'll get somebody to look into it. Undecided is fine because till the time the score is with us, we will track it down and we'll put it on your file. Okay, what would be the advantage of cohort or flex if both are the same, but flex has more tracks? Well, Yusuf, you said it yourself. When you have more tracks, you have more options out there. You want to take more type of courses, that's happening there for you. And then if you end up getting a scholarship or a TA-ship, and if let's say you're out of state, your tuition changes. So that is one benefit. On top of it, another thing with the flex is if you take more credits, your per credit hour rate goes down. So in a semester, you can take up to 18 credits, which means credit number 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 is free. There's no tuition after 12 credits. So that's another advantage there. So tuition is an advantage, but the biggest advantage is that you have so many different courses and tracks from which you can pick and choose what you want to do. The other thing is, for most of our courses in the Flex program, we have multiple sections. Like for example, when you take the statistics class in the first semester or the business analytics with our class or the database class, all these classes have 6, 7 different sections. So in terms of what you want to pick, you have more options there. So definitely there are significant advantages of taking the Flex program. Total funding available for JSOM students. So, well, this depends on a lot of things. One is scholarships. You get scholarships, so that is one way of funding. If you don't get a scholarship, let's say, and in the second semester you get a TA-ship, and we have had some very good students who didn't come into the program with the scholarship, but second semester got a TA-ship, and then the continuing student scholarship, which they got in the next fall, they were able to get that. So despite the fact that they didn't have an incoming student scholarship, 3 of the 4 semesters that they were here with us, they had some kind of support. And if you become a TA, that's $1,000 per month of salary after taxes. And then you pay the in-state tuition rates in case you're an out-of-state student. So that's another benefit. And if you end up taking more credits beyond 12, then that's another way of reducing. Now, we don't recommend it because it's a lot of courses, but then we've got some students. We've got a significant number who have done that, and they've done it well. It's all about time management. It's all about time management and how you can manage your load. What's the criteria of getting a scholarship? So Lalit, we do start with a GRE or GMAT. Now, again, GRE and GMAT is not the only criteria. The reason why we need those courses because see, all the applicants come from different universities, and it's very difficult to compare University A to University B. So we need some kind of common metric to compare you, and that's where a GRE or GMAT is But then after that, your profile, your scholarship essay, all those things will help us understand. Now, remember, when you're writing your scholarship essay, don't just tell us that, well, this will help me financially. That's the obvious. Every scholarship will help you financially. What is other than financial help? Or, you know what, this I'm in financial need. Everybody has a financial need. If given an option to not pay tuition, nobody will pay tuition, right? So tell us how this scholarship will help you. Is this going to help you with anything in your academic pursuits? Will it help you with doing your degree in a much better way? What are those things where you will divert your time, attention, and funds to help with your academic experience? And I think that is what the committee is looking for. Neeraj, there are some scholarships in cohort as well. You might want to just reach out to the cohort program directly. What are the requirements to ensure a TA-ship? Well, Gyaneshwar, we cannot ensure a TA-ship. Like for us, the minimum criteria is a 3.4 GPA, and that's the minimum. And the other fact is, if you're going for a particular, if we want to hire you for a particular class, and you should have taken that class and you should have an A. That's the minimum. But then after that, we put you on a short list and then we look at your profile as compared to the rest of the students. TA-ship is not an academic award. It is a need-based, it's a job. But we want to make sure that you are the right candidate because you're not just displaying your academic knowledge in that area that you have gained at UTD, but you're also are somebody who's taking care of anywhere between 100 to 200 students. And if you lack that particular thing of managing all these students and their questions and all, then probably you're not the best fit. So you have to there are multiple check boxes beyond just getting good scores that we look at and then we make a decision. When did the LOR requirement change from 1 to 3? It is a recent change, Alex. This happened, I think, a few weeks ago. But if you've already submitted this application, not a problem. If you're looking for somebody to write the letter of recommendation and the rest of things are okay, go ahead and send the application at least, and you can add the letter of recommendation later on. There is a way through which we can waive that off as well, but at least have somebody's name out there in case there is a problem in getting your number 2 or number 3 in terms of the recommenders, and you want to discuss that, please send me an email and I'll be happy to help you with what options are available. Lakshmi Priya, I've reported my official GRE copy and in my scholarship status, it still shows is not received. Can I look into it? Lakshmi, if you have reported it recently, it takes time before it reaches the university. So the way it works is, once it is received by the university, your to-do list is updated. Once your to-do is updated, it takes the next, I would say, 2 to 3 days before our scholarship portal reflects it. These are different systems. They don't talk to each other in sync, like at the same time, but they do update each other, in like 24 to 48 hours. Now, if you don't see your GRE scores updated on, first of all, your to-do in the next 1 week or so, just let me know. But it takes about 2 to 3 weeks since you have reported it for us to receive it, because ETS might say they have sent it, but it's generally in transit. Sitara, I've submitted my application with just one LOR. Well, if you have submitted it, this is a recent change. If you've already submitted, that's fine. In case our committee requires more, we will reach out to you. Akila, on average, how many new incoming students are qualified for in-state school? Now, Akila, this number can change, and this totally depends upon the pool, what kind of students we are getting. So this number, it's several hundreds of students that are getting the scholarship in the first semester, but the number is not like, okay, we have reached our cap in terms of the scholarship and now we cannot give more scholarships. It can go up and down depending on the kind of pool. How long does it generally take for the official GRE scores? Oh, well, I just answered that question. Vatsal, if you get Dean's Excellence, how much does the in-state tuition cost? Okay, that's a great question. So let's say you're going for 12 credits. Okay, just an example. 12 credits is about $20,000 out of state, and it's about $10,000 in state. So if you get the Dean's Excellence Scholarship, imagine you want to take 12 credits for 2 long semesters. Without scholarship, it will be 20 plus 20,000, and that's an approximate number, about 40,000 over 2 semesters. But the Dean's Excellence will reduce it to 10 plus 10. So you save 50%. On the portal, it says that cohort students can't apply for TA. Yes, so the TA ships that I'm talking about, where you get the monthly stipend of 1,000 and you qualify for in-state, is not the case with the cohort students. But they do have some student worker positions there. And again, if there are questions with regards to the cohort program, I would recommend that you reach out directly to the cohort program. Nayan, my university has already submitted my official transcripts and degree certificate twice, but the admission department of UTD says that they still have not received my documents. My university has also sent a screenshot. I'm just looking at, but the admission department of UTD says must have screenshot. Nayan, if you can send me an email about this particular thing, I will have to look into your case individually, but I'll check with my admissions team what's going on. Yeah, but please do attach some kind of a proof. If you've already sent it to me in the last 3 or 4 days, I will get back to you pretty soon. We've just had massive number of emails, so we're trying to process them as soon as possible. But if this is already sent, that's I'll take care of it in the next 1 or 2 days. Lakshit, how do students pick their track in case seats are limited? Well, Lakshit, there's no limitation on the seats, and there's nothing like you pick your track. You just go take those courses, as simple as that. Your diploma, your degree certificate will nowhere say that you picked up a certain track. It'll say Masters of Science in Business Analytics. That's it. Prakhar, I've been admitted to MSBA program, but I need clarification. The tuition fees, the degree program prerequisite, professional. So Prakhar, every student in the program needs to do a 1 credit professional development class. That's in the first semester. You can get that waived if you've completed another degree in the US or you have US work experience. But if not, then that's a 1 credit class that you have to take. That's on top of the 36 credits. But this class talks about how to get a job in the American space and what really works out in the American workplace that can help you become more employable. It's an excellent class that our Career Management Center does. The tuition fee, as I said, now what you can do is, if you want to play around with what the tuition looks like, I'll put a link here for you all. And this can help you with the tuition estimates for the MSBA Flex program. But remember, the number of credits you take can change your tuition. Also, the things like scholarships, TA-ships, that can change your tuition because your categorization changes if you are out-of-state student. So, okay. How do students pick their track in case seats? Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just reading the same question again. My apologies. Can I apply for scholarships from the first semester in cohort program? Can you show the links to? Well, Elam, if it's about cohort, I would recommend that you reach out to the cohort program directly. By the way, the cohort program doesn't have a separate scholarship application. So if once you have applied to the program, that's all they look into. But if you're in the flex program, you'll need to apply separately. Is it difficult for international students to land a job in the healthcare sector? Absolutely not. In fact, we are seeing more and more students going into that sector because the healthcare sector in the last 5 to 6 years has become extremely, extremely aligned in terms of what analytics can do for it, especially analytics. Now, IT used to be a backroom thing for healthcare for a long period of time, but no more. And with COVID, the amount of help that medical organizations and agencies had because of things like analytics was through the sky. So there is a big, big need of people in the healthcare sector that know analytics. So absolutely, you can land a job there. Aruna, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, the official time is 4 to 6 weeks, but our team is pretty fast on it. So 2 to 3 weeks is approximately the time once all the possible documents are received. Now, if you ask for a GRE waiver, let's say, it'll add another week on top. Okay, Harsha, how does the school help in internships and placements? Well, Harsha, first of all, it's a shared responsibility, but at the same time, our career management center gets like 200 companies in a semester. Okay, we in the program, we will always be bringing in companies, we'll be bringing executives, we'll be getting people to come and, interact with you. But at the same time, we have very strong connections with them. So wherever they need interns, it's literally done on the email where we send them our resume books. And by the way, we do collect resumes. We put a resume book together and we send it to more than 1,600 employers every semester. So it's a multi-pronged approach through which we try to get you internships. Some of you are, simply referred to these companies based on the fact if you're looking for internships. And so there's a lot of support from the program, honestly, to get that internship. And we also tell you what are the ways to get those internships, because as I said, it's a shared responsibility. We want to make sure when you are applying by yourself, you're doing the right things. Those are the things that they teach you in the professional development class as well, to how to go about and making yourself more marketable. So as I said, multi-pronged approach, but all of that helps very well. Okay, could you please, so I believe business knowledge can be earned through professional. How much will the defined tracks make a difference? Second question is, could you please let me know? So a couple of things. I'll talk about the second question first. The competition. I think a lot of us think that, okay, if you're going in a big school, then there is a lot of competition for jobs and everything. Let me tell you this thing straight. That competition that you're talking about with regards to jobs, you're competing nationally with all the students who are out there. So that competition is not going to go away. If you were in a small school and you had no competition, see, first of all, you want to learn how to be more competitive. And unless you see that competition around yourself, you will not know the ways through which you can project yourself better. So I feel that big sizes helps. The other thing is, as I said, our partnerships help a lot. And that's where we help cut the competition for you. When somebody says we want to hire, we tell them don't go anywhere else. We are here and we can help you with all your needs. So for companies, it's profitable to come to just us because whatever the quanta of the needs is, it can be fulfilled through our program itself. Now, this thing you said, business knowledge can be earned through professional certifications. Yes and no. Why? Because you're certified, yes, there is a trust that you know the subject matter, but how well you can apply it, maybe not. Maybe there's no way to check that. You gain theoretical knowledge, you gain some application-based knowledge, but how does it tell me that you have the right business knowledge to go and do something? At the same time, the tracks itself, you get into a class, there is an instructor, but there are group projects, there are application experiential opportunities that can help you learn. So I'm not saying that any one particular avenue would be the silver bullet for you, but a mix of it is what helps. So our students, when they get into our classes and they do stuff around whatever we are teaching, what they do is they learn stuff in the class, they apply it through projects, group projects, competitions, and in case they desire a certification, they go with that as well. So it's like a mix of all of those things that can help you become what you want to do. But to be honest, nobody can reach that zenith of being the perfect person in whatever field it is, because it's a moving target. Always. You can just get better, but not the most perfect person. And we help you get better. We at least put you on that path to be better. Rahul, I have questions regarding official documentation after admission. I've initiated the process of sending through TrueCopy, but my undergrad university doesn't provide a tested. How do I send it? Well, if you've initiated it through TrueCopy, that's one way. My undergrad university doesn't provide a tested photocopy. So you don't need to send your originals. We don't take your original. Originals are for you. We will need some kind of a documentation from your undergrad institution, you know what? I would recommend reach out to admission at UT Dallas. It's a single word, admission at utdallas.edu, and let them know that you're having this trouble, that your undergrad university is not sending you an attested photocopy. See what alternatives they can give you. Nishant, I talked about the first part, how you can get the Dean's Excellence Scholarship, but the I-20 amount, without the scholarship, the I-20 amount in the Flex program is about 51K. For with scholarship, it's about 36K. Can we apply for MSBA with 3-year graduation? Absolutely, Sarika. You can. The Flex program allows 3 years. What would be the Flex program timings? Now, Vatsal, I don't understand how you're asking this question in terms of timings, but we have courses which are spread across the day, and we admit students in all 3 semesters. So again, you can have, now you decide how your schedule looks like. Your schedule can be, just Monday and Tuesday you have your classes and the rest 3 days are free. Or you can have a class on each of the days. As I said, the Flex program gives you more flexibility to pick and choose when you want to take a certain class, and that helps you design your week. What is the difference between data and financial analytics course? Well, again, data analytics is centered around, I would say, generically, what are the models that can be put on different data sets, and how do you go about creating those models and optimizing them. Financial analytics, as the name says, is more focused towards models that are used in the financial sector. Criteria for GRE GMAT waiver, well, they will look at your undergrad performance and see how you've done there. GPA, well, at least a 3.0 is required if you're requesting a GRE waiver. And you don't have to do any evaluation. You just send your transcripts and UTD will do the evaluation. What are the possibilities of getting into UTD without GRE? Yeah, that's possible. If they give you a GRE waiver, you can get into UTD.
I'm going to mute. I'm really sorry to ask you this question, but I'm actually having an undergraduate degree from Monash University, Australia. So I've already paid for the WES evaluation services. Like I have graduated recently on January 31st. So I haven't even received my official transcript yet.
That's okay. You can use your unofficial ones. We are good with that. Or mark sheet, something.
Yeah, but when I convert my grades from Australian GPA to the US one, which is actually a lot different, so I'm getting like a 3.4 GPA on this US one, but my Australian GPA is 2.5 because of the absolute grading system. This is causing some kind of havoc for me.
Sindhuja, you don't have to worry about that because UTD has their way of evaluating, and what ends up on UTD's evaluation is the one that we'll look at.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine. And what do you mean by a professional LOR? Because
I will answer that question. I will answer that. Let's not unmute because what happens is we have very limited time and it's very difficult to take questions directly from you. So that's why I want to go with the chat, but I will answer that question. Professional LOR means the person who's writing the letter of recommendation is doing it in their capacity as an industry professional. Now, they may have worked with you, they may not have worked with you, but they are somewhere in the industry. It cannot be, let's say, you have somebody who's not working and writing a letter of recommendation for you. That's not professional. They need to be in some position at the moment. I hope that answers the question. How often does your job fairs take place in the university? Now, Vatsal, our career center, the Central Career Center in the university does one every semester. Our career management center does a couple in a semester. The program does at least one every semester. And then we have individual companies coming for hiring events. So there are like at least 5 to 10 different opportunities just from the different avenues that I've listed here every semester through which you can meet employers. Some of these career fairs have like 60, 70 employers. Some of them may just have 5 or 10 of them, but they're very focused on what you are doing. Like, for example, the ones that we do in the program, we have one coming up in 2 weeks. We will just have employers come and hire only business analytics students. So those kind of specialized career fairs also happen. Ganeshwar, would students without a scholarship be preferred for TA-ship? So we try to not double dip on the TA-ship, and the first preference is given to students who don't have a scholarship. Absolutely, that's a very good question. Danny, yes, 3 years is okay. Typical internship duration now, again, most of the students do it for the entire semester. The least you need to work on an internship is for 80 hours in a semester. The max can be anything. It could be the entire semester. You can do an internship in the program for up to 364 days. So till the time you're in the program, we'll give you credit up to 364 days. And it could be continuous. It could be broken down into 3 different semesters. That's possible. Can I change from cohort to flex after getting? Absolutely, you can. Shubhi, send me an email and I'll send you the, anybody who wants to do that, just send me an email and I'll tell you what to do. Can you, Elham, can I defer my admission? Absolutely, you can do that. You just need to let admission at UT Dallas know. If you Google defer admission UTD, the first link that's out there, it's a form through which you can also do this. After receiving admit, I was asked to upload my degree, but I haven't graduated. So that's fine. Dharmik, if you have a provisional, that's fine. If you don't have a provisional, just let admission at UT Dallas know and they will give you additional time. Deepika, who would you offer Dean's scholarship to? Any student who has applied to the Flex program, is admitted, has accepted, and has applied to the Dean's Excellence Scholarship will get that. Mohammed, yes, if you have an AACSB degree, degree from an AACSB institution and you have a 3.5 GPA, that's an automatic GRE waiver. All the advantages in terms of funding, TRA opportunities are available. So why does have a separate program? Well, again, Sairam, the way the programs are built is the reason why the finances are different. Okay, and at the time when we created the separate program, it was like if you just want to focus on accounting analytics or just data science, then that's one program for you. But then if you want more opportunities, more flexibility, that's where the flex program comes into. Danny, I see your question at least 20 times. I think I've answered it, that yes, you can apply with the 3-year graduation. Where do graduates work after graduation? Well, Dallas-Fort Worth is booming with jobs. So a lot of them end up working here, but we see a good chunk going to the East and the West Coast. In fact, our students go to all 50 states, technically. They move around. And the last 8 years, the kind of graduates that we have had, they have moved all over the US. I'm already working in a Big Four. Can I also get an internship? Yes. Lalit, if you're already working, that's not a problem. Anybody who wants an internship can get it. And if you're a working professional here in the US, you don't have to leave your job and do an internship. We can use elements from your current job only to give you a credit for internship. Should personal statement be limited to 1 page? That's expected, but if it goes beyond a page, no problem. Flex program does definitely, because the number of students that we have in the Flex program, those percentages are higher in terms of the number of scholarships. Shubhi, absolutely. Any background is good for business analytics. Well, the Flex program is our normal MSBA program. I mean, there's nothing called normal MSBA, but the traditional business analytics program that we've had in the university is the Flex program. Apart from classes, and can we take classes? Yes, Nishant, summer is optional if it's not your first semester. You can take. Summer is only mandatory for students who are starting their program in summer. But if you have not started, it's optional. You can take classes. You can choose not to take classes. How and when do you register for classes? We generally open it up a couple of months before the start of the semester. So fall students will get the opportunity to do this in somewhere in June. I'm just looking for the ones that have not answered. Shubi, if you're accepted to cohort, yes, you will have a great chance of getting into Flex as well. You just have to apply to Flex separately. Okay. Do you have a supply chain track in MSBA? So we call it the decision and operational analytics track. That is what our technically the supply chain track is. Now, again, your the tuition that you're talking about for Flex versus Core, it depends. Again, as I said, the number of credits that you're taking, the scholarships that you have, whether you have TA-ships and all or not, all that factors into what your tuition will eventually look like. Okay, what I would recommend is there was a session, and I'm going to, this is probably going to be one of the last questions. I'm going to put a link to a financial planning session that we did in which we covered a lot of different scenarios. And that can help you in understanding. Okay, copy. Akila, the Dean's Excellence Scholarship, either you do it in the first semester or you do it every fall as a continuing student. Today's 51K is not the tuition for 1 year for Flex program. 51K for I-20 is the total amount that includes your tuition, living expenses, etc. Now that's an amount that ISS, or our International Students Office, has determined, but a lot of times it is less than that. A lot of times it's much less than that, but you need to still show 51K because that's a standard amount that they have estimated. You can submit. I'm just looking at, okay. Okay, first of all, please remember, you don't have to submit your original documents. We don't take original documents. We need them attested. If you're bringing them by yourself, they need to be in envelopes that are sealed and stamped by your undergrad institution. If not, they can attest it, scan it, and send it directly from their official email IDs, the undergrad institution, to admission@UT Dallas, or you use services like True Copy and all to send it electronically, or you can even, once you get your attested copies, you can put them in an envelope and just send it to UT Dallas. Now, how do you apply for an I-20? There is a good link that can help you, and I'm going to put that in the chat so that you know what link we're talking about. Here is a full-blown article on what needs to be done in terms of getting an I-20. What are the research opportunities after completing? Well, again, it depends whether you want to be in a research position, and there are R&D departments that do hire our students as decision scientists, data scientists. So those are the opportunities. You can do research in the school as well. We have a lot of faculty that, not always, but then they do. If you are serious about what you're doing in terms of research, they will help you, and they will help you not only in writing, but also in getting published. Atul, I just posted the link for the I-20, so you should be able to get that. I mean, honestly, in the Flex program, if you look at, let's say, somebody takes 18 credits every semester. Okay. In about $40,000 without a scholarship, you are done with the program in 9 months. Let's say you got a scholarship and you ended up taking 18 plus 18 credits. You're done in about $22,000. So that's the least amount of money that you will spend, about $22,000, and you'll be done in 9 months. Yes, Roshan, you can apply for every fall semester. And as I said, if you don't get it in fall and the next is a spring semester, you can also apply for TA-ships. A lot of our students get that. In fact, all of our TAs that we hire don't have scholarships. So we do give preference to non-scholarship recipients. All right. Well, with that, we are right at the end of the webinar here. Thank you so much again for your time. And this is definitely not the last time when you can ask your questions. Do send your questions directly to my email. And I'm putting my email and the program's email. At utdallas.edu. But we'll be more than happy to help. Pujita, I'll take your last question. I've been hearing that GRE test scores are being cancelled after the student has joined. In case something like that, will it affect? Well, Pujita, again, if your GRE test was cancelled or gets cancelled at any point of time, then of course it will impact your scholarship. There are not a whole lot of cases where that happens after you join the program, but in case if it happens, because generally they let us know within a few weeks if any test has been cancelled. But there's always that risk that it runs. All right, folks, a recording of this webinar will be sent to you, but thank you again for being with us this morning here in Richardson, which is getting, again, very chilly. But we look forward to having you at UT Dallas. Have a good one, everybody.